Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we will be concluding our coverage of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, playing until we reach the end of the game. But
There's one ending to talk about.
Yes. But before we get started, how is everyone's week?
I've been like, oh man, Metroid Prime 4 is coming out, but I never played Metroid Prime 2 or Metroid Prime 3. I should play those before Metroid Prime 4 comes out because, I want to play them anyway. But then the devil on my shoulder appeared and started whispering, there's not that many Metroid games, and they're not that long. You could totally play through the entire series in order before Metroid Prime 4 comes out. So, since we last spoke, I have played through Metroid on the NES and Metroid 2 on the Game Boy and a decent amount of Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo.
That's awesome.
I love the Metroid games.
They are so good. I've already played most of them, but most of them it's been a really long time. Like, pretty much all of them except Prime and Dread. It's been a really long time since I've played them. So, I'm good to replay them. And man, Metroid NES has serious problems, but Metroid 2 on Game Boy is so good.
Are you going to play all three versions of Metroid 2?
There are 3 versions?
Yes, AM2R
official
is the
and
unofficial one. Yeah.
Yeah, as I say, yeah.
Oh no, I'm not going to play the unofficial one.
Okay.
My having actually done AM2R and the original, I actually prefer the original.
The original is so good.
Yeah, I haven't played the original, but Samus Returns, it was my favorite game for a long time, and I wouldn't shut up about it when I played it.
I haven't played Samus Returns, but I have heard that it is basically a completely different game.
Yeah, which when I heard that made me want to go back and play the Game Boy one. I just haven't ever done it.
Yeah, absolutely should. It's so good.
It's really good.
The only thing that sucks about Samus Returns is Morph Ball is mapped to down, but if you remember, the 3DS has a control stick, and that is not a thing I want mapped to a control stick. It's bad, and they should feel bad.
I mean, the 3DS doesn't even have a control stick. It has the weird slider thing that feels even weirder.
Yeah, it's bad, but the game was a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoy it when you get there in 3 or 4 games.
Yeah. Yes.
I was going to say, because you have already said that you were going to replay Metroid 1 when you got to its remake, so might as well.
Yeah, I am going to play Zero Mission. I am playing the remakes as well. It's a total of 11 games I'm playing.
Yeah, back when I had it was a New Year's resolution like 3 or 4 years ago now, because I wanted to play 20 games during the year. 11 of those were Metroid games. I was just playing one because I think that was the year that Dread came out. I was like, this was a lot of fun. I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to do that again. And then I binged the entire series.
Nice.
What about you, Trish? How was your week?
My week's been... So here's the thing. My week's been pretty good on the whole. Today, specifically, was up to a point the best day at work I think I've ever had. Since it's starting a new month, we're switching out all the displays for new ones, which took up a lot of the day. I was a part of designing a lot of these displays, or picking out the books for them. So I felt like, I was able to have some pride in like putting out what we did. Once I did that, after that, I was like, a couple times recently, things have come up where I have explained. It gets come up that one of my coworkers doesn't know anything about polyamory, and so I've explained a couple of things about that, and it had me just being like, oh, hey, maybe for next year for Pride Month, I could put together a project for we could give out like pamphlets with like some definitions of different queer terms to help educate folks. Like, that would be fun. That's a thing I could work on now for to be done, 9 months from now. And then right near the end of my shift, I get told like, "Oh, hey, can you come down to one of the meeting rooms?" And I'm like, "Okay," and I do. Background. Due to a mix of illness and fatigue and depression and muscle pain and whatever, I have had to call out sick 4 days so far. Earlier this week, I have a day off in the middle of the week because I'm working on a weekend. I reached out to be like, hey, I'm having a really bad muscle pain day. Could I switch my day off on Friday to Tuesday? I was told no, can't do that. Gotta come in. And what the meeting was about was apparently I have officially being disciplined for excessive absenteeism. If I call out sick a single more day, it doesn't say when this would end, but just if I call out again, I am facing disciplinary action, including possible termination.
Damn.
So I sobbed a lot. My mental health is not doing great. It really feels like I've basically just been told I am too disabled to work here. So it feels like some real karmic fuck you for me to just be working on a thing that wouldn't be, a thing until next June. And then immediately slapped in the face with, I'm probably not even going to be working there then.
Yeah. That's
I'm
shitty. I hate that for you.
Thanks. I'm gonna try to talk to HR about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because they're like, hey, you could talk to. They're like, well, if this is a thing where like it's possibly a thing where you could talk to HR and like maybe get like bring in a doctor's note or something and be able to smooth some of this out. And I'm like, okay, but when do I have the time for that? And they're like, oh, you can schedule meetings with HR on company time and like leave to go do that. Go to town hall, do that during your day at work. I'm like, okay, none of you ever fucking told me that, so I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's also hilarious. They're like, you're not at your job enough, but you can leave your job to go and complain about the fact that we think you're not doing your job enough.
Yeah.
I hate all of that.
Yeah, it just really, really sucks.
Yeah. But I do want to let you know that since you called out to Victory Lap a couple of weeks ago for the Nintendo
God,
Direct,
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna strangle you. I love you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Speaking of HR shit that sucks. So I still don't have my promotion officially. I know 100% it's coming, but I have a meeting with my boss tomorrow and I'll probably have more information there. But the person that I'm like working with is like kind of messing up a lot. And so I've had bad work days, like trying to like it's like he's walking down the hallway eating popcorn and dropping all the popcorn onto the floor as he's walking, and I'm having to just go behind him and only him and sweep it up into my little ushers thing. And that's all it's felt that I've been able to do. But the past 2 days I've had the time just completely blocked off to work on my own project, and I did basically all of it today. And so seeing how much like my manpower was not applied to the tasks that I've been given was like extra frustrating. But on the one hand, I did finish a project today, but also it's just so frustrating to feel like I have shackles on at work. But I did figure out a real cool thing while I was working earlier today that's very hyper specific and probably incredibly boring. But for all you data analyst heads out there, I found a way to virtualize my one-to-many and many-to-one relationships to where I don't have to have all of the overhead that exists with that. And it was pretty cool, and everything worked, and I liked it. And I'm still really enjoying my new position. I just want to get paid my new salary, and then it won't suck so bad having weeks where I'm just I'm just doing cleanup. But
It's nice when you get a promotion to also get paid the money for the promotion.
yeah, and it's thankfully it's not one of those promotions like if you get promoted from regular McDonald's worker to manager at McDonald's, you start suddenly doing a whole lot more for not a lot of pay. I'm doing quote unquote more, like I'm doing bigger things, but it's like less like shitty work. Like it doesn't suck as bad as support does, but when I get told the number, I know it's going to be a very large one. So I just want to know what that number is real bad. And also when they'll give it to
1 million.
me. That would be insane. And I would probably advise them against it, because we're a governmentally funded nonprofit, and we have no government today, October 1st, 2025. So they probably shouldn't pay me that much so that they can pay me a little bit for longer.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, I just remembered another thing I did today was I pressed the publish on Steam button for Possum Boy.
Yeah, we did. And by we, I mean you. But yes, it's up.
I
And
mean, you did a lot of stuff leading up to that. I'm just the
Yes.
one that pressed that particular button.
Yes. But
It's on Steam. It is $4.99, but it's also got a launch discount where I think it's like $4.24 or something.
something like that, yeah.
But it's less than $5. Buy it, please. Please.
And we worked really hard on the achievements and when they unlock and how to make them funny. So the Steam, even if you've bought it on itch, you should buy it again on Steam. A, because you love us, and B, so that you can see the jokes we made in our achievements.
Yes, achievements are so important and matter.
Mm-hmm. No, achievements are not, but the jokes that we made inside of the achievements, those are worth it. That's worth the price of admission.
Yes.
But you know what else was worth the price of admission? Me paying brand new full game prices for 3 copies of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 for this podcast.
Hell yeah.
So let's listen to some music.
Old friend, you've traveled miles, spinning in circles, your blind eyes on the dial, stripping out the colors. A man whose steps leave no trace.
The greatest expedition in history arrives in Lumiere. It's crawling with jerks, but Mael summons her army of undead chroma expeditioners. She says, "Tomorrow comes." And they charge, and I'm like, I'm level 99. I do not need these guys. Sam doesn't even have to fight battles anymore. Nevrons just see Sam and die.
It's so funny because there's several times where like the expeditioners will run in and like stop three Nevrons, but one will get through, and it's supposed to be like this big thing. And I put my controller down and I eat some dinner because the Nevron just dies instantly.
But the expedition makes their way through Lumiere as the battle rages between Mael's and Renoir's forces. It's not a particularly long or involved final dungeon, but it's fun and flashy, and the mini-bosses are probably exciting if you're not level 99.
Mm-hmm. There's a really cool thing that they do where because the the music isn't like a Banjo-Kazooie MIDI where they can just change how it sounds depending on what you do. The epicness is tied to the soundtrack. So whenever the like distortion guitars kick in, everything turns like Technicolor pink. It's so cool. It felt like I could tell that it was tying it to the music because I was looking for the last journal and I was not in any battles whatsoever. And then it just kicked in with this huge downbeat. I'm like, oh, that's I see what they're doing, and that's really cool.
Nice. On the way, we pass through an opera house where we see the ghostly form of the mysterious faceless boy we've encountered in dungeons, but I don't think I've ever mentioned before, playing piano. Eventually, we make our way to the twisted Eiffel Tower, where Renoir is waiting. Mais oui, the final climactic showdown on this French-ass video game literally takes place at the Eiffel Tower. Renoir stands with his back dramatically to the expedition, then turns dramatically, and dramatically greets Maëlle as Alicia. Maëlle says she just wants him to understand what this canvas means to her. Renoir says he does understand. He knows how powerful and intoxicating it is, how deeply attached we can become to the worlds we pour our hearts and souls into. Maëlle says that doesn't mean he has to destroy Verso's canvas. Renoir asks, "Do you think I want to? Do you really think I want to destroy the last piece of his soul?" "Then don't," Maëlle says. Renoir replies, "Life keeps forcing cruel choices. We do what we must." Ciel steps forward and says grief often blinds us and we make choices we can't take back. Lune says the choices of parents leave indelible marks upon their children, but ultimately the voices in their head have to be their own. You cannot set the boundaries of their life for them.
I wonder if this scene is different if you don't do the loyalty quests.
I feel like it has to be because they it feels like each of them coming up just specifically references their loyalty quests.
Yeah.
It doesn't, because the long play I watched did not do the loyalty quests, if I recall correctly.
Weird.
That's one reason I didn't end up writing notes for them, because I would have had to find another video. And that would have been so much work.
Yeah, this obscure indie game that no one has played at all this year.
Clair Obscur indie game. Maëlle says that after the fire, Renoir wanted her to find new joy in life. She tried, but she couldn't. Verso died because of her. How could she get from that to joy? Renoir promises it will get better, but this is not the way. Her friends speak truth, but it changes nothing. As your father, I must look out for you. Maëlle says he still treats her as if she's 5. He shouts that he treats her as if the shadow from the worst day of their lives is going to suffocate her and take her from them too. Enough! Maëlle summons her sword. The rest of the expedition summons their weapons as well. Renoir takes the form of the curator. Final boss time!
It was so funny that this was the final boss, because I've already done the Endless Tower where you do this fight and the Paintress fight at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like,
Same.
oh, I know all of this.
Well, I didn't know much of it because I killed that boss in one hit.
Yeah.
To that end, I knew from Vimk said that there's a lot of like on their turn dialogue, so don't kill the final boss in one hit. So I gave myself a 1 million damage cap and also gave Renoir 10 times health, and I still only saw one of the lines. I hope there wasn't more than one.
You could have just taken Painted Power off.
Yeah, that would have been a nightmare. It still was. I still almost lost with a million damage cap. With a 10,000 damage cap, I would have absolutely died. All my builds are 100% glass cannons.
Okay, then that's fair. The long play I watched actually did not have Painted Power on for some reason. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
What?
That's insane.
It was so weird when I was watching them fight Renoir, and Verso was like doing a whole bunch of hits and they each were hitting for 9,999. I was like, what? But anyway, partway through the fight, Renoir summons the Axons to his aid. When we get his HP all the way down, Sirin revives him to full. So we can't beat him. But then a portal opens behind the expeditioners. Verso says, "No, she can't." An old woman steps out. Renoir tells Aline she's going to kill herself. It's too soon for her to return to any canvas. The giant form of the paintress stands and has a kaiju battle with Seren as we do the second phase of the final boss fight.
Giant lady mud wrestling.
Yes.
The first phase of the fight, I was like, this kind of doesn't feel like cool and epic enough to be the final boss. But when Aline steps out and then there's the kaiju battle happening in the background, I was like, okay, yeah, we're doing this, man. We're making this happen.
It's especially cool because Aline is the axon he made to represent her specifically.
Mm-hmm. And I love that all of the big epic things happen during the curator's turn. So he flies off and he's like flying up in the paintress's face and yelling at her and everything, and he's swooping around and everything, and I'm watching and enjoying it. And then almost not in time, I'm like, oh shit, I have to block. This is a move, I forgot.
Yeah, while he's swooping around and everything, he calls to Aline, saying, Alicia can't be here. It's supposed to be you and me, not you against me. Aline says, go home, Renoir. Go paint something else. At the end of the fight, Mael strikes the curator down, and he takes the form of Renoir again. This part is really cool because, like, you get his health almost down. There's just, like, a sliver of it left, and then he starts to swoop up again like he's going to do that same thing again, but Mael breaks the turn order, I guess, and jumps up and strikes him down, and it's so cool.
It's so cool, except I had her in a completely different outfit, and she jumps up in her real Mael outfit with her real Mael hair. And I was like, that's not real.
So there is a weird thing where there are a couple of pre-rendered cutscenes during this dungeon. Like when you first arrive, there's also a pre-rendered cutscene. And so far, if I'm not mistaken, the only other pre-rendered cutscenes have been at the beginning of the game before you can choose outfits or anything. So it didn't matter then.
There was one other. I think it was when Gustav died. I think that one was pre-rendered.
Maybe. I did have Gustav in his normal outfit and everything, so. Yeah. And Mael, I would have had in her normal outfit and probably with a ponytail or something.
Yeah.
For Mael and Lune, their normal hair outfits, their normal hairdos, their hairstyles, they're just like have it all hanging loose and long, and I'm like, that seems dangerous. You're doing like crazy shit. I feel like it needs to be tied back or something.
Yeah, I love the evolution that my Lune in specific took, because you start the game and you're in your ragged expedition outfit and her hair's going wild, and then by the end she's in the icy blue dancer outfit and has a like straight close cut French bob, and it's like, yeah, she cleaned up for this.
For the outfits I used for everyone, I used the standard expedition outfits for the whole thing, but then when I got to Act 3, I switched them all to the white ones.
Oh yeah, the white ones are so good.
Yeah, it felt cool.
I really like the obscure one
on
Mael, but I had Lune in the Clea outfit for maximum psychic damage.
Yeah. Since we're already talking about outfits, it reminded me that last week when we went to go fight Alicia, I had already unlocked both the Alicia haircut and the Alicia outfit for Mael, so I just mirror matched it, and it made the resulting cutscene a little hard to parse, and I shouldn't have done that, but I did it for the lol.
Nice. I do really like the Alicia outfit. I also like I think they call it the real Mael outfit, the one she's wearing by default at the beginning of Act 3. It looks really good. So we've kicked Renoir's ass, and he says, ironic, your mother was the one who saved me when I lost myself in a canvas. She taught me how to safely use our gift, how to soar without flying too close to the sun. We painted hundreds of canvas worlds, pushing the very boundaries of creation. And she never let me forget that every day we spend here has a price. Yet here we are now. Mael and Renoir argue further about who should get their way. Mael accuses him of just trying to feel like he's in control. She says he couldn't save Verso, so he wants to save Aline and Alicia. But he's not. Destroying the canvas won't help us move on. It will just deny us the one place that helped us feel again. Renoir says he was trapped in the monolith for 67 years, but he persisted. Do you know why? He asks. Renoir opens a portal. Through it we see Aline, collapsing, struggling to breathe, with the chroma poisoning surrounding her eyes. This is what I see every day, he says. I cannot spend another day with living corpses. Since the fire, our family has crumbled. Aline in the canvas, Clea fighting her solitary war, you a living ghost. Verso's death broke us. I want it to be fixed. I need it to be fixed. I cannot lose you too. Mael replies, don't you see? That's how I feel about them. I can't lose them either. I've lost too much. Papa, I've lost so much. Renoir says, we've both lost so much. And Mael says, I don't want to lose you either. I'm not leaving you forever, just a little longer. Renoir finally relents. He says, I'll keep the light on for you. I hope you find peace. Hold on to each other. Renoir fades into a cloud of red petals. Verso stares at the portal. He reaches out to it. Lune calls to him, but he just says, I'm sorry, and jumps through. Verso finds himself in the abstract JRPG void between the canvas and reality. In the center, the faceless boy paints on the ground. Verso approaches and says, You're tired of painting, aren't you? The boy nods. Verso says he's tired too. White petals start floating from him. Mael steps into the void behind him and says Verso shouldn't be able to be here. Maman's gift, he says. Mael asks why he ran in. It's dangerous for him here. Verso says she lied to her father. He saw it too. You're going to die here. Why don't you just leave? You can always come back. Mael says the moment she leaves, Papa will erase the canvas. Verso says it's not worth her life. What life, she asks. Her life of loneliness in a shell of a body with no voice and no future? Verso says she's Mael wherever she is. She doesn't need this canvas. But everything I want is here, she says. Here I have a chance to live. Out there I merely exist. Verso quotes Renoir. Life keeps forcing cruel choices. He reaches out to the faceless boy and says, it's time to stop painting. The boy reaches to Verso, but Mael swipes her sword between their hands. She says, Papa also said, hold on to each other. Verso says, I'm sorry, and summons his weapons. Every time Verso says, I'm sorry in this game, I want to punch him.
Yep.
Same.
Well, good news, Bernard.
Now you can punch him.
Mael and Verso face each other down. The game asks us to decide the fate of the canvas and choose to fight the final confrontation as Mael or Verso. This game has 2 endings.
See, it was a ruse earlier when we brought up specifically the number of endings. I bet you didn't see that one coming.
Is it a ruse or is it simply lying?
What if there were 33 endings?
This isn't 100 line.
Either way, during the duel, Mael yells at Verso to stop, that he can't just decide this for everyone. Verso says they're all hypocrites doing the same thing to each other. Mael asks, what about Lune and Ciel and Minoko and Eskie? Verso says Ciel was right. Grief blinds us. All you see are walls. They each continue to plead with the other to understand, but ultimately only their swords can end the conflict. And of course, we're going to talk about both endings.
Mhm.
Yes.
I think we should start with Verso's ending.
I disagree.
Oh,
I think we should start with Mael's ending.
Trish, do you have an opinion?
I'm good with either one.
Sam, we have to fight. We have to decide the fate of the
Actually,
podcast episode.
God, I'm trying to...
We can follow your notes.
I think Mael first makes more sense, honestly.
Okay, we'll do Mael first.
Okay.
I've been outvoted. So, I'm going to be honest, I did not finish my notes for Mael's ending, but it's fairly simple what happens, and I watched it right before we started. So, Verso collapses, and he begs Mael to stop the faceless boy from painting. He pleads with her to unpaint him. He repeats, I don't want this life. Mael says she just wanted them to live this lifetime together, this lifetime that was stolen from them. Verso fades completely as Mael looks back into the portal to the canvas world. Epilogue, A Life to Paint. We see Lumiere as its familiar music plays. The scene moves to the opera house where Eskie and Minoko greet people entering. Mael enters the theater with a child who I don't recognize. Maybe it's one of Gustave's apprentices. Maybe it's supposed to be Ciel's kid. I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be young Verso, the faceless boy.
Yeah, but old Verso's also there in just a bit.
But old Verso's also there. So I might be wrong, but that's what I feel like it's supposed to be, where she restored both of them. I don't know.
Wow, your papa lets you have two Versos. But anyway, Mael and the mystery kid go sit down next to Lune and Ciel's husband. Gustave and Sophie come and sit down next to them.
So speaking of Sophie, in episode 1, you called her the Frenchest character imaginable or something. The weird little boy that we don't know who he is the Frenchest little boy I've ever seen in my life.
He does look very French.
He has hella French face.
To throw in my feelings on the little boy, I thought that was just one of Gustave's apprentices.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't remember one that looked like that, but I don't remember them very well. But anyway, the lights go down, everybody starts clapping, and then in the black and white 4x3 zone, Verso steps out to the piano on the stage.
He's old.
And we can tell he doesn't want to be there. He sits down at the piano and a horrifying chord plays as we see the chroma poisoning absolutely covering Mael's face. Verso reaches out to start playing, and it goes through the credits.
Such a fucking good ending. My God.
Oh my God. It's fucked up.
It's so good. And once we talk about Versos and then go to memorable moments, I have so many words about the two endings and how they compare and contrast.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's one ending, and it's sort of weird and fucked up. I wonder if the other one will be weird and fucked up too. After the fight, Mael starts to fade and collapses. Mael says, "Don't do this. Don't leave me again." Verso tells her she'll be okay, that she has this incredible power to paint, that she'll never have to live a life she doesn't want. She'll be okay. Mael fades into golden petals. Verso stands and sees Minoko and Eskie in the void with him. They all step in for a group hug. Verso says he'll miss them as they fade into red petals. Verso sees Ciel standing in the portal, starting to fade. She steps towards him. He reaches out to her. She starts to reach out to him, but then pulls her hand back as she fades away completely. Behind her, Lune stands in the portal, staring at Verso, who has betrayed her one last time. If looks could kill, he wouldn't have to worry about immortality.
Yes.
Not at all. I love how she, sits down. She's just like, you know what? Fuck this.
Lune sits down Verso, as she continues glaring at him, and all the YouTube comments say, "Remember how she said, as long as even one of us stands, our fight is not over?" And I'm like, oh shit.
Fuck.
Verso turns to the faceless boy and says, "It's okay. It's over, Verso." The boy stands and takes Verso's hand. They walk into the empty void and both fade away. Epilogue, A Life to Love. We see a long, beautifully shot scene of the remaining Descendre family gathering around Verso's grave. Bien-aimé, Verso Descendre. 22 février 1879 à 33 décembre 1905. À jamais peint dans nos cœurs. The most important thing to note about this scene is that Alicia holds an Eskie doll, and it's adorable, and I want it so bad. Fangamer, get on that shit.
Fangamer, get on that shit.
Renoir and Aline embrace, finally having reconciled. Clea seems to have had enough of this and walks away. Alicia clutches the Eskie doll to her chest and sees a vision of all her friends from the canvas waving to her as they fade away. Let's listen to some music.
Miroir du temps, nos histoires s'alignent. Dans le creux de nos mains, deux mondes se dessinent. L'un peint de rêve, où le chagrin s'efface. L'autre, nu et réel, où notre deuil prend place.
So I did the Mael ending, and I still solidly feel in my heart that is the closest to a good ending this game. Like, not even a good ending. It's the ending I can live with.
Yeah.
But like
that so that's one of the reasons why I fucking love both endings, and I love watching them in the order that we did it. Which is why I very much disagreed that we should cover the Mael one first. So the Mael ending does right by all of the people that you've met throughout the game, who it has come up and been a plot point that it doesn't matter that they're fake, they're real people. And and it does right by that, and it gives Alicia agency to choose what she wants to do, but it's quote unquote not healthy for her, and that's reflected in the end. Whereas the healthy thing to do would be to leave the canvas, and Verso forcing that on her does help her have a better future, but it also kills all of her friends and everyone back in Lumiere, and every gestural, and so many fucked up things happen that way. And importantly, she didn't get to choose it. And so even though it ends on like a life to love and a quote unquote good moral ending, it has so much baggage. And then the one without all of the baggage also has Mael deciding things for Verso.
I was gonna say, that's the thing that stuck with me the most, is how she takes Verso's agency away in that one. Because he wanted to die. He was so fucking desperate to be dead. And she fucking repaints him and forces him to exist.
Yeah, and like on one hand, she repaints him without his immortality, thus that's why he's old. But also, like, if the faceless boy is supposed to be a baby Verso, you have a different Verso now. And I would guess, so you wouldn't have two people the exact same. You didn't give baby Verso all of his memories and everything. So like you could let the Verso that wants to die and have your baby Verso, and not just be shitty about it, not be Verso about it at the very end.
I mean, the thing is, there's just, because everyone in the Descendre family is sort of just being shitty or bad or not being able to give things up for various reasons, we aren't able to have a good ending, because a good ending would be like Alicia or Mael leaves the canvas and learns how to live her life as Alicia, and Aline does not go back into the canvas, and Mael doesn't go back into the canvas, and they just leave the canvas there and let everyone live their fucking lives. But Renoir also won't let that happen, because he is too worried about Aline going back in, and
I mean, valid.
Verso won't let that happen.
She showed back up in the final boss fight.
Yeah.
Also, I interpreted her disappearing in that fight as her dying from chroma overdose or whatever. Like the effects finally catching up, or her fucking dying mid kaiju battle, or at the end of the kaiju battle, rather.
I mean, she's in Verso's ending.
Oh yeah, she's in Verso's ending. So never mind. That's still.
Yeah, I do think
but
she
probably she
willingly
was
left
fucked
though.
up. Yeah, and Verso, of course, wants to fucking destroy it any chance he gets. So everyone with power over these people isn't treating them like real people who should have their own agency. There's this whole theme in the game of parents not acting like their children are real people who've got to have their own agency and have their own voices in their heads and everything. And I think that's the big thing that's happening here. No one who is responsible for the people in the canvas is taking them seriously as their own people. And even in Mael's ending, you were saying it does right by them. I'm not so sure. The way Mael does it, it seems more like, to continue the parenting metaphor, she's just coddling them and putting them in this weird fake paradise reality where no one ever loses anything at all.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
That is so fascinating. I feel like there's supposed to be an element with the first ending, especially of this, like, there is the real world and there is the canvas. There are the real people in the real world and there are the people of the canvas. And the Verso ending is effectively taking on the perspective of Renoir and Clea, of like, those are just things in a canvas. They do not matter as much as a real person does. It is prioritizing Alicia's life over the lives of everyone in the canvas. And I think it is so fascinating is that I think part of the reason it is hard for us to grok that perspective and to validate it is because for us, all of them are fictional. None of these characters are real. They are from two different fictional worlds in this game, but one of them isn't more real than the other one. And so the idea that one of them is asserting its realness as a priority status over the other feels nonsensical in a way.
God, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This game's great.
I also love that I wouldn't call either ending the good ending.
Mm-hmm.
And that rules. I love, because like when it offered me the choice, it was like, oh, do you want to side with the person who's literally saying the same things the final boss just did that you kicked his ass for, or do you want to side with the protagonist? I was like, okay, like what candy am I going to get for killing this little girl? Type binary binary morality type thing, and that's not what you got on either side, and it's very cool.
I hope if there's a sequel, the people in the canvas can find a way to attack and dethrone the painters.
Yes, I absolutely desire that. I also would love, and I don't know if it will because the series is called Clair Obscur, which is a painting term. I would love if we were in, like, we got to see a world that's ruled over by a writer, just to mix it up a lot and change a lot of the rules. But you can't make a Clair Obscuro in words. It doesn't really work that way.
I mean, the sequel could be called something completely different, and we just know it's a sequel because it's also French.
Yeah.
Or they could be like, now we're doing a sequel. This game is going to be ridiculously Spanish.
As long as it's not ridiculously English steampunk, I'll be happy. Though
Yes.
I did just remember something, and I think you can do a chiaroscuro in words, because Brandon Sanderson's new book did it. It's on black pages with silver text, which is pretty much the contrast between light and dark. IMO.
Whoa.
So maybe, yeah, it's really cool.
I mean,
it's one of the
is it black text on white pages literally the same contrast?
Yeah, but
we're desensitized to that. That's normal.
Yeah, it's the same with the concept of negative space. There's no such thing as negative space. It just feels like negative space because we're used to stuff not being there, or stuff being there, etc. And so this one doesn't highlight the contrast between light and dark when it's white pages with dark ink. Anyways, yeah, I am so locked in to whatever it is that what is coming next from Sandfall, and I hope that it also takes 5 years, because they wrote this in 2020, according to all of the interviews. I don't want to hear from them next year. I want them to take their time, because that's good.
Absolutely. I want them to take all the time they need to make their next game, whether it's a direct sequel to this or not.
Oh, speaking of real world stuff about this game, so I watched and read all of the credits, because I thought it was hilarious, because all of the game making credits look like indie game credits, which I am familiar with because I programmed some. Possum Boy out now on Steam, where it's like, okay, well, there's only 20 of us and we all did everything, but we're going to separately credit all of the things that we do. So like Guillaume's name is on like every page because he had his fingers in every pie or whatever. And then all of the like business things are hundreds of people that got all the marketing and everything. Still takes a whole village. And so it's like you start with indie game credits and then you get to the actual scrolling black and white credits and it's a million people. But it also showed me that this is both a Bamco game and a Sega game in some regions. And yeah, that this does feel like a Sega RPG. I don't know. I can't qualify what that means, but
neither can I because I don't see it.
But what I can say is so on SteamGrid.com, where everyone puts their custom Steam stuff. When I was setting it up on my computer, I was looking through those, and so many games will have some sort of joke that the community has centered around, and that will show up in the Steam grids. And the one for Clair Obscur was Final Fantasy 17. And I'm sorry, this does not feel like a Final Fantasy game at all. Like it feels like a great turn-based RPG, but I think that's probably it. Is it feels weird in a way that like Persona feels weird, and Shin Megami Tensei feels weird, and Yakuza feels weird, and that's why it feels like a Sega RPG to me.
I can see that.
It definitely doesn't feel like a Square Enix one, though. That's for sure.
I also noticed in the credits, it listed the English and French voice actors for each character, and Esquier only has the one, Maxence Cazorla, which I guess he did both voices.
He also did all of the male motion capture, which is cool.
Yeah, it looked like he did motion capture for fucking like everyone, all the dudes, pretty much.
Yeah, game good.
This game is absolutely fantastic. I cannot believe how good it is. I am absolutely astonished.
Yeah,
agreed.
Like, I think it's been a hot minute since a video game has come out that is as easily of a shoe-in for me as like Chrono Trigger. Of when I think of, if you put a gun to my head and I say the top 10 games of all time, and I'm like, for me or in general, and you say in general, then I could think I would bring up like Chrono Trigger and Clair Obscur. Like it is like masterpiece level good, and I don't feel bad saying it. And I feel it's been a long time since I've had something that across the board ubiquitously I feel is that good.
Yeah.
Which is not to say that like modern gaming sucks. Like I lost my bonkers to both Astrobot and Donkey Kong, but there are things about those that make them into like modern video games, and this one feels like a timeless video game.
I can see that. I am not quite. Let me make this clear. I absolutely love the ending of this game. I love the last half or so of this game. Maybe 2/3. I don't know. This game is incredible. It's absolutely fantastic. It's still a bit more of a 9 out of 10 for me than like a full-on timeless masterpiece. I still feel like the first act or so is kind of weak. It doesn't quite grab me. That's just my own personal experience with the game. That's just my own personal way I look at it. But like, it's still, I'm going to be thinking about this game for a long time. And I think it stands on its own excellently. I don't think we need more of this universe. I think the little hints we get of the writers of what else is out there in this world is very fascinating. But also, if they did decide to do more, like, I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like the original Star Wars. If that was the only one that we got, that's a really good movie and it's awesome. But then if they give us an Empire Strikes Back after it, then I'll be okay with it. So
hopefully this doesn't turn into 9 games that follow the exact trajectory of Star Wars.
True, but hopefully when they expand it, it's just as good and not we run out of ideas. So speaking of Mim Moms, the section that we're normally in, did you guys get the final journal in Lumiere?
Yes, it's
Mhm.
silly.
It's so silly. The fact that they saved it for the end makes it extra silly because all this extra stuff is going off around you, and you get to the final journal, which you're in the real Lumiere. Why would there be a journal there? And apparently, Expedition 60 all decided that clothes would just get in the way, so all of the expeditioners were nudists, and they figured out they got farther than anyone, and so they were swimming back to Lumiere to warn everybody that it's not the paintress they need to worry about. It's Renoir, and he got almost all the way there before he got gommaged and left his journal floating in the waters of Lumiere, butt naked. It's so good.
That's silly. Man, I'm just glad I finally got to talk about the ending of this game with someone because
it's ugh.
Yeah, when I was watching it, like you watch the Mael ending, and it starts so happy. We're like, oh, Gustav and Sophie are back, and oh, you brought the husband back, and oh, there's this weird little French boy, and everything seems so happy. And then Verso walks out, and you're like, oh shit. A, we're in 4x3 land and nothing good ever happens there. But B, he looks upset and like, this is kind of fucked up. And if that were the ending, like if it cut to when we saw Verso, that would still be just as fucked up ending. But they drag it out for like ever. And the performance capture for Mael is so good, where she's like begging Verso to let this be okay with her face. And she's just like nodding and has these big bug eyes. I'm like, this is fine. Everything is fine. And then it cuts to CL, who's smiling up at Verso, like, come on, you love to play the piano. You don't have to paint anymore. You can play the piano. Miles doing you a good thing. We're all here to just let you do your music like you've always wanted to do. And Luna is like, yeah, go on ahead, Verso. Go ahead and start playing. And then that chord, and it cuts to Mael, and she is chroma poisoned, and it's so good. It like, it was fantastic.
It hits so hard.
Yeah, there's just a lot of good filmmaking in this game. Sometimes we cover games where the most filmmaking that can happen is a character walks away, stops for a second, and then their sprite continues walking, and that's easy to cover in notes. But when I'm summarizing a game like this, it's kind of hard to be like, and there's really good filmmaking, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone stands around Verso's grave, but there's lots of filmmaking going on.
Yeah, so much filmmaking going on. But only important thing is SKA plushie.
I want it!
Was it part of something in the game previously that Minoko was his dog?
I don't know if that's ever said, but in the credits it says like production dogs Minoko.
Yeah.
And so I guess Minoko is the name of someone on the team's dog. And I saw someone saying that's why it sounds like the Minoko's saying the beginning of it sounds like bow wow wow. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a stretch or if that's true, but
it also does make it where every time you find something cool, if the random number generator gives you a Minoko sound, he doesn't say like nice or anything. He goes, ow, wow, 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 wow.
Oh, yeah, he does say that. Oh, also, sometimes when you find something, Verso says, good stuff. And it sounds like he's saying Gustav. And I'm like, get his name out of your mouth.
But yeah, we talked last week about how the glimpses we got of real Verso through what's left of the canvas were really cool. And if Minoko is in fact his dog, the fact that he made a world where his dog, and his plushie could go on adventures together is so adorable.
It's so adorable. Also, okay, I hadn't beaten the Simon fight last week. I have now. I didn't intend to cheese it. I accidentally cheesed it. Basically, I barely changed my builds. I just added Stendhal to fucking Mael's list
Oh,
of
yeah.
skills. That move is just broken.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But the reveal after the sci-fi, there's hints before it, but afterwards, like, oh wow, this dude was in love with the painted Clea, and like real Clea showed up and was like, hey dude, do this stuff for me, and he was like, okay honey, and then it was like, oh wait, no, she just absolutely fucking like wrecked my girlfriend, she's barely even existing anymore, and now she's fucking with me, and it's like, god, Clea, that's so fucked up. What happened to both Painted Her and Simon is so fucked up.
So speaking of Clea, an important question kept coming up this last chunk of the game. How does time work?
Oh, no clue.
I assume it's a Narnia thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought, except we played in the real world 16 years ago, and they were in the, like, time was passing while they were doing it, and Clay was talking about how they had been in there for a long time. So
yeah, I just assume it's
They said a long time, and they didn't say 16 years ago. They said monument year, monolith year, this. That doesn't necessarily mean in the real world that was 16 years ago. It just means,
yeah, I know.
According to the monolith, it was that long ago.
Yeah,
I mean, they may have been in there, who knows, they may have only been in there a day in real world time, but maybe that's a long fucking time to be in a canvas.
Yeah. I was in there for 7 years, mixed with this is what I see every day, mixed with my entry into the canvas was fucked up and I was a baby and I had to grow up for 16 years to get to where I am right now. How does all of that work together? And I kind of like that it doesn't.
I think it works together fine. I don't know. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's not enough to bother me, but just I noticed it because when he was like 67 years, immediately followed by, and this is what I see every day. And how those connect together, who can say? Because also Verso has said that he's lived for 100 years before the breaking or whatever, the fracture. And it's like, well, are those 100 real years, or is it like 100 days in the real world, or what's going on?
I think it's probably just monolith time, like whatever, our canvas time.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Clea, you get more with her once you've done all of the trials in the fucking in the, not boss rush really, but the endless tower. And it was really interesting doing that. Like, that was like one of the last things I did before the final fight, because she's like, I'm not going to say she's nice, but it's the closest to being a good sibling she's been this entire game. Where she's just like, yeah, but both of my parents are just fucked. Like, sis, I think what you're doing is stupid, but they're both being unbelievably stupid. I'm helping out Dad because he's making slightly more sense, but like, you seem to be doing, a little better. I hope whatever you're doing works out for you. Just like, let's just find some way for this all to fucking end, please. And I was like, hey, Clay, you're not being the worst right now.
Yeah, it worked weird for me because I did the Endless Tower before I did Simon, and real world right now, actual Clea steps in to start the second phase, and it's like, okay, well, you were just telling me about how you wish me the best, but now you're fucking with this guy so that he'll kick my ass. What do you want from me, Clea?
She wants to make her younger sibling look like an idiot.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
If for some stupid reason you have gotten to the end of this series and you haven't gone to play this game, go play this game. Even though we've spoiled all the things for you, there's so much we didn't cover, and the gameplay is so fun, and I highly recommend this game, even if you've got this far without playing. No matter who you are, Summer's boyfriend is like, only plays Destiny and Call of Duty, not an RPG person at all, and he is enthralled by it and is almost beaten it. He's at the flying SKA part, so he's like moments away from beating it, and he loved every single second of it. So everyone go play this game.
Hell yeah.
So that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations help us offset the cost of running the show. If you decide to donate $1 more a month, you'll become one of our gadabouts and also get access to our bonus feed filled with after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show, such as Tales of Podcastia, the Escape Pod, and the JRPG Canon. You also get to vote on what we play next. And right now we have a poll open. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, but it's the end of this game. How do you have a poll still open? Shouldn't you be telling us what game you're playing next? But we're going to do a Halloween special for the next 2 weeks, and we are going to be playing Folklore for, what was it on? PS3?
PlayStation 3.
PS3.
PlayStation 3.
Sony's third PlayStation.
Yes. And I am excited about it because I know nothing about it, but I know Bernard has been saying we should play it for a Halloween special basically every Halloween for a hot minute. So we're going to be playing that over the next 2 weeks, at which we will announce the winner of our poll.
Might be 3 weeks. We'll see. None of us have played it, so we can't be quite sure. But
yes, but our Best of the Rest poll is currently open, and right now, in a ever so slight lead, Golden Sun and Golden Sun: The Lost Age are winning. So if you want to either clinch it that we're playing 2 games for Best of the Rest, or really want us to play Dragon Quest IV, you should go to www.rpgbook.club and cast your votes.
you should probably say what the other 2 options are as well.
Oh yeah, the other 2 options are Radiata Stories and Panzer Dragoon Saga. So all 4 fantastic games. We have a really good Best of the Rest this year. There have been some times where like we did a meme game for one block, and it's like, all right, should we play 3 of the best RPGs of all time, or Shuggy the Christmas Elf? we don't have anything like that this time. So I will be thrilled no matter who wins. And while you're there, if you want to up your donation to $5 or more a month, you can get your name read at the end of every episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to Dragon Slayer 19, Freddie Rodriguez, and J Fro Prime. And then if you really, really love us, you want to be one of our luminaries, you can donate $20 or more a month to get a short, 1-sentence shout out or advert read at the end of each episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to Kale Dronis, who says to check out Podcasters Assemble. It is a documentary-style, crowdsourced movie, hype, and rewatch podcast. Every season, podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. Shoutouts to Vimke, who says, Gideon slid backward, keeping her distance. Crux, she said. A threat's meant to be like, come here, or... And then shoutouts to It's Claire Time, who says... For you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima, who just launched a Kickstarter featuring new books with art by Yoshitaka Amano. Still not affiliated with the game, still just a great system to play your own JRPG. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Au revoir.
Bye.